So we are on to the Pommes Anna part of the meal. And this is a really fun thing to make. I love it. It's really good. And you can layer a whole bunch of different things, but I like to use potatoes and butternut squash this time of the year. So you don't need a whole butternut squash either. I just take off a good chunk of the top, something manageable, and then just take off the peel. You can use a peeler, you can use your knife, whatever you want. So the other thing you want to make sure of is that this piece of squash will fit comfortably on the mandolin. It looks like we need to cut it in half. That'll be good. Then the next thing you need to do is take your mandolin and slice everything up. You've got 2 russet potatoes. And we're slicing them fairly thin here. Not too thick at all. Be careful when you get to the end, and if you don't feel comfortable chopping up all the potato, just throw the last little bit away. On to the butternut squash. Alright, so once you have everything sliced up, the next step is to assemble the Pommes Anna. And so, put a little bit of butter, melted butter, this is a half a stick of melted butter, in the bottom of a non-stick pie plate. But make a nice little design of potatoes, and I don't really recommend putting the butternut squash right on the top layer just because it gets really soft. You can have it kind of peeking out at the edge, and that's what I'm going to do here. So just go ahead and make one nice layer of potatoes. So, put a little bit of butter on top of that. And then this is a mix of salt and pepper. Go ahead and season everything really nicely. And then continue to make layers of potato. And then the last layer of potatoes. All right, pour on the last bit of butter, salt and pepper, and then take a pan, something heavy, cover it with aluminum foil. This could be a brick if you don't have a heavy pan, and coat that in nonstick spray. And you're gonna weight the whole thing down with the pan while it's baking in the oven. So I have my oven preheated 375 degrees. I'll set a timer for 30 minutes because after 30 minutes I can take off the weight and then I'll look and see how it's progressed to cooking wise. So it has been 35 minutes since we put that in, and I'm going to just remove carefully this. See, even with the nonstick spray, a couple wanted to stay on there. So go ahead and put them on carefully, return them to where they belong. Let that pan cool down a little bit. But see how everything is. It's looking good. We're going to go ahead and put this back in the oven for another 35 minutes. So it has been about an hour and 10 minutes since we put this in. And it looks really good. So what you want to do is just shake it around in the pan a little bit. Make sure it's loosened up in there. And you'll start to see it move. And when you see it move, you can pray that it's time to flip it out. Even if a little piece sticks, you can always peel it off and replace it and save the appearance. Now this is hot, so be careful. And there might be a little bit of butter in there that wants to come out. So make sure you are turning it away from you and you're being careful, like I said before. But don't be scared. So just flip it over. Let's see. Perfect. That is a really good Pommes Anna. So, what you can do to that, and what I like to do to everything, especially when it doesn't have any green, just sprinkle it with a little bit of parsley flakes. But beautiful. I think that's really nice.